It's 12 o'clock. Thank you for joining us at this time. You're watching news analysis live on Politics and Business TV. The top stories. Federal government says it is set to launch about 2,700 compressed natural gas powered buses and tricycles. International Monetary Fund attributes central banks' interest rate hikes to drop in housing market growth and mortgage accessibility. New Nigeria People's Party in Kogi State receives 1,000 defectors from the All Progressives Congress. The details coming up shortly. Welcome back. I am Omoife Peace Osemere. The presidency says it is set to launch about 2,700 compressed natural gas powered buses and tricycles before May 29th, when President Bola Tinubu turns 1 year in office. Special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, who revealed this in a statement signed entitled Presidential CNG Initiative Set for Rollout, added that 100 conversion workshops and 60 refueling sites spread across 18 states are set to be. According to the statement, over 600 buses are targeted for production in the first phase, which will be accomplished in 2024. According to media reports, the CNG initiative was designed to deliver compressed natural gas, especially for mass transit, and to further ease the burden of the increased pump price on the masses. Recall that federal government had 5 months after the removal of petrol subsidy launched the presidential CNG initiative and also earmarked 100 billion naira, a part of the 500 billion naira palliative budget, to purchase 5,500 CNG vehicles, buses and tricycles, 100 electric buses, and over 20,000 CNG conversion kits, with plans to develop CNG refilling stations and electric charging stations nationwide. The Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has given a strong indication that it would press for the inclusion of a clause which would prescribe sanctions for governors and local government administrators who failed to implement the new minimum wage. National Treasurer of the NLC, Hakeem Ambali, who disclosed this in an interview in Abuja, attributed the refusal of state governors to pay the current minimum wage on lack of punitive measures in the Minimum Wage Act of 2019. According to media reports, the stance of the NLC is not unconnected to the meeting planned for this week by the 37-member committee set up by the federal government to debate reports submitted by various subcommittees from the 6 zones of the country. The 37-member committee, which was inaugurated by President Bola Tinubu through the Vice President Kashim Shettima on January 30th, 2024, has its membership cutting across federal and state government, the private sector, and organized labor. The panel is to recommend a new national minimum wage for the country. And now the federal government, through the Nigeria Shippers Council, has stated that it will mandate port service providers and users to register on the council's online portal by the 3rd quarter of this year. The Executive Secretary of the NSC, Pius Akuta, who disclosed this during a sensitization program for stakeholders on the registration of regulated port service providers and users at the Council's headquarters in Lagos, reiterated the importance of adherence to the online registration requirement by all service providers in the port, adding that it was in line with the duty of the Council as enshrined in Section 4 of the NSC's regulation of 2015. Akuta, who was however represented at the event by the Director of Consumer Affairs of the NSC, Kajetan Agu, noted that the registration was geared towards having a database of genuine port service providers and users, as well as knowing your customers' policy. While highlighting the evolution of payment processes from manual to automated systems within the council, the NSC boss emphasized the mandatory nature of registration, warning that non-compliant entities would face stern consequences. And out to other matters, where the International Monetary Fund has stated that central bank's decision to hike interest rates to curb inflation has been impeding housing market growth and mortgage accessibility. In a recent release of its Global Economic Outlook at the International Monetary Fund and World Bank spring meetings titled Steady but Slow, Resilience Amid Divergence, the fund noted that this had led to a significant surge in house prices and mortgage rates. It explained that since the beginning of the current hiking cycle, house prices remained elevated at the end of 2023 in most countries, and households had started to feel the pinch of monetary policy. It was gathered that central banks around the world have since late 2021 raised policy rates significantly to restore price stability. There are concerns that increasing interest rates would lead to a slowdown or even a recession, but despite some economies experiencing a deceleration, global growth has remained steady. Right, you're watching news analysis live on Politics and Business TV. Still to come, in what may come off as the unending high level of impunity and corruption in Nigeria's governance system, the trials of a former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, may have just started, as the federal government has placed him on its watch list to prevent him from escaping from the country. Using the embattled former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, as a case study, a veteran journalist and political analyst, Cosmas Ekpunobi, joins news analysis in a moment to dissect the legality of EFCC's actions and perhaps the unending corrupt practices in Nigeria's democracy. All of this and more after the break. Do join us again.